Do you see my face? I ain't even got nothing to say. I was wondering, where were you at, honey? Even now we see. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 5. Listen, when I tell you May said we are having church, period. They were having church right in the house. Everybody had to get up, everybody had to come downstairs. It was May, her first service, and it was taking place in the living room, okay? So, Gigi went to get Sophia. Sophia's still trying to be in her space of whatever that is she got going on. Ain't nobody going for it. Girl, get on that and snap out of it, honey. Snap out of it. I know easier said than done, but yeah, they're gonna have to really pay attention and really wrap their hands around her and bring her on back. As this, she's just in a spiral that ain't doing no good. Her pictures done resurfaced back on the internet, and it's a good lesson for her because things don't go away. Whatever you do on the internet, a computer is the biggest tattletale of all. Whatever you do down here on the streets, I don't care how many times you think you can erase it, somebody got it, period. So let it be a lesson to all of you. Anyway, but they're doing all their stuff. They had all this food. It was really nice. It was really nice. But baby, there was like a lot of arguing going on. Jacob and Carissa was going back and forth. Honey, told Bishop had to tell them, shut up and cut it out. A mess. It was just a mess. And she was given, listen, new beginnings, honey. That's what my message is about. New beginnings. Then Noah and Gigi actually had this little section where they were getting food, and Noah was like, all this food and stuff. Doesn't it remind you of the first Sunday at Calvary, at Consecration Sunday? She was like, now we don't need to be bringing that up. Come to find out, she lost her virginity at the church, and I guess Noah's the one that took it. I said, my mind, down to the church, honey. Anyway, moving on. After everything was done, May was on her way to go talk to old girl. What's her name? What's her name? The sister, Macy and them sister. She's going to go talk to her. And Bishop was like, well, can I go with you? You should let me go with you. She's going to say, no. You cannot come with me to talk to her. I'm going to go deal with this little skank that wants to take my house. You pray for her. I said, okay. Tara, that's her name, Tara. May gets down there and gets to talking to the girl, and she just is talking to May, and she said, the house, if it was intended for my father and all of that, just think of the good work that you could be doing, Mrs. Greenleaf. She said it could be, that house could be perfect for a homeless shelter or an orphanage and all this. And May got to, you can see May's wheels spinning, and she said, I asked God for new beginnings. And she said, God has a funny sense of humor. I said, May, well, May is all, she real big with that. God's going to tell me, God's going to lead me, this kind of thing. So I was like, okay, all right, May. And she told her, she said, you're doing good work. Because first she was shading her. She said, what's the last good work you did, honey? She told her, she says, no, you are doing good work. And May got off her ego and she ended up leaving. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, who would ever thought it was pastor or bishop, same person, but he was able to get through to AJ and make AJ smile. Took him back in the things to come with me. He showed him, had this big old car. It's in a box. It's still in pieces. He says, you helped me build this car and you can have it. It's yours. And he finally smiled for a change. I said, well, look at him. Meanwhile, Charity ends up going, she had the baby and she was going to talk with, she went to call Phil's dad on the phone. And she left the baby with Zora and Sophia. Here's Sophia, since she's having all these issues about not being able to have babies. She's been like avoiding children altogether. Yeah, you need to deal with what your situation is and what your issues are and get out of this self-pity thing, or you're never going to move forward. So she ended up having to leave Sophia with the baby. And I think that kind of helps. So Sophia ended up with the baby by herself. And she also ended up talking to AJ. And here AJ ended up being the voice of reason. AJ told her, you think this mess around here? Because she didn't want to go back to Hampton because she don't want to deal with what had actually happened. He's like, that's the reality of it. It's life. You got to get back out there and get to fight. And look at me. I said, yeah, look at you. Shut up. You just got it together a day ago. Hush. But he did give her some good advice. I said, okay, AJ. And told her, he said, what you doing is weak. He said, that's totally weak. He said, look at these people living in this house, grown. Your mother, your uncle, us. We're grown. Living in this house. That ain't... Grown people get up and go have a life. I said, I'll dig AJ. Funny. Very, very funny. Charity got no cooperation still out of Phil's dad. But I think at some point it's going to get through to him. But she was trying to plead her case. He still was real shady. And he was like, leave me alone. Noah and Gigi ended up having this whole little back and forth. And she ended up falling asleep in his lap and everything. And he had told her while she was asleep, she slept for about an hour or so. He said, the old groundskeeper was a Caucasian man, and he used to mention, as he had a journal, and when he was journaling, he said that he used to mention this Negro. That Negro came by again today. He said, do you think that the Negro he was speaking of was Gerald James? And he was saying in the journal, it seemed as though the groundskeeper had plans for the house itself, like he thought maybe he would inherit it and everything. And he says that, that Negro came by today. Do you think that the Negro he was speaking about was Gerald James? So last thing we ended up seeing, Gigi had went down and she got the journal. So she has the journal in her possession and she's going to read through it. So we'll see what happens with that. Child Zora tries to play so tough, honey. When they took her to the side, baby, and told her, because Jacob and them came and got her, told Jacob and Carissa to tell her basically what happened. She's snapping out, basically, and blaming everything on Jacob. And Carissa was like, no, we both dropped the ball. Because she was being real rough on him. Like, yeah, I've watched for years as because she's seen him cheat on the mother and all that. So she was really, like, going in on him. And he gonna tell Carissa, well, thank you for that, because she ended up storming out. Well, she said that, she cheated. Basically, she cheated, too. She stormed out. She all crying out. Grow up. Anyway, grow up. But he told her, thank you for that. Carissa's like, yeah, whatever. We'll say, listen, I'm willing to take this and work through this. But when we do this with Winky tomorrow and we take him to the psychologist and we explain it to him, I'm not putting him through this for nothing. It's over. I said, girl, shut up. He don't want you no more. Like, she is really having a hard time with grasping that it is really done. He don't want you, bitch. He don't want you. We know this. Men are like that. We can dish it, but we cannot take it. We could cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat and screw you around and talk shit to you and do you in, but we can't take it. Males are the weaker sex. Mentally, we are. It just is what it is. Now, physically, we're the stronger sex. But mentally, ain't got nothing for no woman. Don't have nothing for no woman. And there'll be men that'll try to challenge me, will challenge me. I'm sitting right up here on all the male chromosomes. We don't have nothing mentally for a female. You ain't got no win, bruh. A man don't have shit for a woman when it comes to mental and keeping shit together and being able to hold it together, their poker face is something you ain't never seen. You understand? That's why we get caught and they don't. Because we be in our feelings about stuff like that, especially that cheating stuff. Men can dish it, but they definitely can't take it. And this is what you're seeing. He can't take it. He can't forgive her. He can't bring himself to forgive her. No matter how many times he did it. He can't forgive her. And guess what? You a rotten bitch any old way, Carissa. You don't deserve to be forgiven. You burnt his little ding-dang. That was a bit much. You know, that cheating thing, and then you bring a disease or a baby, that's, you know, that changes the playing field. So, girl, just pack up and go on about your business. Anyway, moving on. Bishop wasn't feeling this mess when May come back there talking about God's telling me to give the house to Tara. He said, are you crazy? Are you feeling okay? He said, I ain't going for that. He went to Gigi to try to borrow some money. Say, how much you got? Gigi's like, you don't even know, Bishop. Gigi got coin, baby. She got bank. May told him, I don't want that to happen. It'll all just be, all for nothing. It'll all be wrong. I've been walking around here for 40 years lying to every member of this family. And I asked about new beginnings, and that's what I got. God told me what to do. I'm giving her the house, James. That's it. Period. And I don't want, and she said, even the whole reason that Gigi got the money, just bring back the fact that I've been lying all this time. I said, yeah, it's true, girl. Anyway, so later on, we'll get to the end of the program, they go to the house, and Bishop, because he ended up telling her, I'm skipping something. Okay, so this was the last, they had their service and all of that stuff. Then they didn't go down to the church to the last service. Charity has keys, so she let them all into the church. So the whole Greenleaf family went down to the church, you know, just to take it all in one time after the church was closed. And Bishop said, you know, I've been lying too. He said, you know, he's talking about the Lord. He said, you know, you're not supposed to serve anyone else but him. He said, I've been lying to these people for years. I stood in this pulpit and I lied to these people. He said, because the only person that I'm supposed to serve is him. He said, but I've always served you. I've always put you before him. I've always done that. And he said, but that's my transgression. And he forgives me for that. But I love you. And I've always done that. And told her, if you see it best to give her the house, then do it. Ain't no need changing nothing. Now I've been serving you and following you, so it is what it is. I said, well, come on through, sir. And she said, thank you. And I said, girl, you know you got some power over there, May. You got that box is mean, girl. That black box is mean, girl. But anyway, she said, it'll be fine. When they were going up to the house, up to the place to see Terry, it'll be fine. It'll be just like when we're starting all over, James. I'm telling you, this is the way. New beginnings. The Lord is going to take care of us. And so he's on board. Baby, they show up. They open that door, baby. And who do they see, honey? Instead of Miss Tara at the door, it's Rochelle. I said, we was wondering who she was talking to on the phone, baby. It was Miss Rochelle, honey. And said, back already? And then looked over there and told Tara, she said, see, I told you, these green leaves are like a bad penny. You just can't get rid of them. Honey, and she gave May a dirty look and looked at Bishop like, you know you want some more of this, honey. And went eased on out. She was just a sharp, you know she'd be sharp. Sharp. Miss LaToya Luckett, baby, if you don't never do nothing else, LaToya Luckett. You got a couple little songs that I love, but girl, if you never do anything else, baby, you know you are Rochelle, honey. You does that. But that was it, baby. And May gave her that look like, girl, I will tear you up, honey. And Bishop crossed his arms like, what? And Tara sitting up there looking stupid in the door. I said, girl, guess what, Miss Sarah? You just messed up. Child, I am so angry. I am so angry that this is the last season. And they are wearing us out. Like wearing us out to the point of letting us know child, you are going to miss us. And yes, we are. Anyway, child, I'll see y'all next week, child. It is so bittersweet. Every episode is just so bittersweet. I'll see y'all next week.